Theoretically, this should be working. I have no idea how well.
Democracy, because you don't like the outcome. And be clear on that point.
Okay.
Donald Trump, the candidate,
I know I might get
has said in this election there will be a bloodbath.
Copyright
If
struck.
this and the outcome of this election is
I
not
don't know
to
where
his
we are.
liking.
It's going to be a little bit to
Let's
catch up.
turn the page on this. Let's not go back. Let's chart a course for the future and not go backwards to the past.
Let me just follow up here.
It was a different term, and it was a term that related to energy, because they have destroyed our energy business. That was where bloodbath was. Also, one Charlottesville. That story has been, as you would say, debunked. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity.
Sentences. One of your campaign's top lawyers responded saying, "We won't let Donald Trump intimidate us. We won't let him suppress the vote." Is that what you believe he's trying to do here?
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly
Yeah,
he is
this is
having a
not the
very
best
difficult
AI.
time processing
Shit.
that.
Oh, it's going to be
But
fine.
we
We're gonna
cannot
win.
afford to have a president of the United States who attempts, as he did in the past, to upend the will of the voters in a free and fair election. And I'm going to tell you that I have traveled the world as Vice President of the United States, and world leaders are laughing at Donald Trump. I have talked with military leaders, some of whom worked with you, and they say you're a disgrace. And when you then talk in this way,
anecdotal
in a
fallacy.
I'll give you 1 minute to respond, Mr. President.
Let me just say about world leaders. Viktor Orban, one of the most respected men, they call him a strong man. He's a tough person, smart. Prime Minister of Hungary. They said, why is the whole world blowing up? 3 years ago it wasn't. Why is it blowing up? He said,
Appeal
because
to authority.
you need...
Turning now to the Israel-Hamas war and the hostages who are still being held, Americans among them. Vice President Harris, in December, you said, quote, Israel has a right to defend itself, but you added, quote, it matters how, saying international humanitarian law must be respected. Israel must do more to protect innocent civilians. You said that 9 months ago. Now an estimated 40,000 Palestinians are dead. Nearly 100 hostages remain. Just last week, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there's not a deal in the making. President Biden has not been able to break through the stalemate. How would you do it?
Yes!
well, let's understand how we got here.
It was easy.
On
It
October
was
7th,
easy. It was easy.
Hamas, a
Yeah,
terrorist
this was a long time coming. I actually did this on
slaughtered
purpose.
1,200 Israelis. Palestinians have been killed. Children.
Holy shit!
mothers.
I beat the strong
What we
AI.
know is
Holy
that
shit! I beat the
this
strong AI.
war must
Oh, I'm
end.
the fucking
It
goat.
must
Yes.
end immediately.
I'm the goat.
And the way it will.
President Trump, how would you negotiate with Netanyahu and also Hamas in order to get the hostages out and prevent the killing of more innocent civilians in Gaza?
If I were president, it would have never started. If I were president, Russia would have never, ever. I know Putin very
shit,
well.
I don't know
He
what
would have
this
never,
is.
There was no threat of it either, by the way, for 4 years.
Burden of proof.
Have gone into Ukraine.
Burden of proof.
And killed millions of
Sorry,
people.
I'm
When you
not
add
paying
it up.
attention.
Far
I have
worse
to
than
do
people
both at
understand what's
once.
going
That's the
on over
thing.
there. But when she mentions about Israel, all of a sudden, she hates Israel. She wouldn't even meet with Netanyahu when he went to Congress to make a very important speech. She refused to be there because she was at a sorority party of hers. She wanted to go to the sorority party. She hates Israel. If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now. And I've been pretty good at predictions, and I hope I'm wrong about that one.
Anecdotal.
She hates Israel. At the same time, in her own way, she hates the Arab population because the whole place is going to get blown up. Arabs, Jewish people,
Burden of
Israel,
proof.
Israel will be gone. It would have never happened. Iran was broke under Donald Trump. This would have never happened.
This is
I will
risky.
get that settled and fast, and I'll get the war with Ukraine and
Oh my
Russia
fucking
ended.
God, dude.
If I'm president-elect,
Holy shit.
I'll get it done before even becoming president.
He said when Russia went into Ukraine, it was brilliant. It is well known he exchanged
Burden of
love
proof.
letters with Kim Jong-un, and it is
burden of
absolutely
proof.
well known that these dictators and autocrats are rooting
Ad hominem.
for you to be president again because they're so
Ad
clear.
hominem.
They're upholding and respecting in
If I
highest
go
regard
here,
our military.
he
Vice
takes,
President
I
Harris,
think.
thank you.
Or
And she's the one that caused it. that's weak on national security by allowing every nation
see what
last
happens.
month.
Shit, I
a
didn't
year,
think about that.
168
No, that's
different
fine,
countries
technically.
sending people into our country. Their crime rates are way down. Putin endorsed her last week, said, I hope she wins, and I think he meant it.
Idiotic bot. I don't know who I'm
The
playing
leaders
against.
of
I don't know
other
why he
countries
did
think
that.
they're weak and incompetent, and they are. They're
Ad
grossly
hominem.
incompetent. And I just ask one question. Why does Biden go in and kill the Keystone Pipeline and approve the single biggest deal that Russia's ever made, Nord Stream 2, the biggest pipeline?
Technically
anywhere in the world,
rhetorical,
going to
but a
Germany and all
loaded
over Europe?
question.
Because they're weak and they're ineffective. And Biden, by
I don't
the
know
way,
where
has
he's
paid
going
a
with
lot of
this. I
money.
really
Thank you.
don't
We
know
have a
where he's
lot of
going with
issues to
this.
get to.
I think the robot sucks, which is weird. Maybe it like broken in an update. I'm not sure at all. Shit, he's actually done quite a bit of damage. But, you know, it's not that bad. I'm gonna trade anyway. Fuck it, why not? If he takes... Well, he can't take. Holy shit, that's genius. And I win, too! Holy hell! So yeah, I'm moving one to the right, and then one through a move, which is technically moving back in time. So I win. I'm really good at... That's really weird, because last time I was eating shit to this guy. So either they destroyed the CPU, or I don't know what. You know what, as long as this video existed, it's a proof of concept more than anything. That this thing is technically possible. Yeah, this balance guy used to be super fucking good. I'm sure they nerfed him, because I was eating shit to him. Why did they do this? I hate it when something gets nerfed, even if it like beats my ass. I'll threaten your position, and also free my pawn. Okay, that was really stupid of you. Was it? That does put me in a bit of a pickle, huh? Alright, man, you win. Fuck, I didn't see that! Oh my god, I'm actually retarded! Whatever, it's fine. It could have been worse, man. I thought I could get away with anything. I've already beaten the guy twice, though, so it's not that big a deal.
You have said you would solve this war in 24 hours. You said so just before the break tonight. How exactly would you do that? And I want to ask you a very simple question tonight. Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I want the war to stop. I want to save lives that are being
dodging the
uselessly
question.
elect. And what I'll do is I'll speak to one, I'll speak to the other, I'll get them together. That war would have never happened. And in fact, when I saw Putin after I left,
just saying every hypothetical
when I
is a
saw him
burden of
building up,
proof.
where is our president? We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify
they
here,
threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know.
Like
Is he
a
our
dog.
president?
Okay,
But
that's
we
ad
have a
hominem.
president,
Mr. President.
that does.
It's important to remind the former president you're not running against Joe Biden, you're running against me. I believe the reason that Donald Trump says that this war would be over within 24 hours is because he would just give it up. I actually met with Zelensky a few days before Russia
You
invaded,
bastard, okay.
tried through force to change territorial boundaries about how he could
That
defend
puts us at a
himself.
huge advantage.
Days later, I went to
and also
NATO's
a
eastern
huge
flank,
disadvantage.
to Poland and Romania. And through the work that I and others did, we brought 50 countries together to support Ukraine in its righteous defense. If Donald Trump were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. And
burden of
understand what
proof.
that would mean. Understand why the European allies and our NATO allies are so thankful that you are no longer president, and that we
burden of
understand the
proof.
importance of the greatest military alliance would give up.
You're just
for the
fighting
sake
against
of
his
favor.
points about
And
himself.
what you
This is
think
what he
a
does every
friendship
single time. He
with
gets you
what
to
is
talk
known to
about
be
him.
a dictator.
She was the emissary. They sent her in to negotiate with Zelensky and Putin, and she did. And the war started 3 days later.
False
And that's
cause.
the kind- as soon as they left,
Fuck, just do
Putin
something,
did the
honestly. It doesn't even
invasion.
matter what.
President Trump, thank you. You did bring up something. You said she went to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Vice President Harris, have you ever met Vladimir Putin? Can you clarify tonight?
Yet again, I said it at the beginning of this video. You're going to have
100%.
lies coming from this fella. And
Ad
that's
hominem.
Understanding that the alliances we have around the world are dependent on our ability to look out for our friends and not
I'm about to get checkmated
favor
in 3
our
dimensions,
enemies
bro.
because you adore strongmen instead of caring about democracy.
If you take a look at that period of time,
I'm sick of this pawn,
the
dude.
Taliban was killing
Sick
our
of it.
soldiers,
Fucking sick
a
of it.
lot
Just
of them,
take it,
with
honestly.
snipers. But I got involved, and Abdul is the head of the Taliban. He is still the head of the Taliban. And I told
see.
Abdul, don't do it anymore. You do it anymore, you're gonna have problems.
Don't know why
And he
he
said,
did
why do you
that.
send me a picture of my house? I said, you're gonna have to figure that out, Abdul.
I want to ask a bigger picture question here tonight. Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
I don't, and I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care.
Special pleading.
I think it's, I mean, honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career, attempted to use race to divide the American people. You know, I do believe that the vast majority of us know that we have so much more in common than what separates us, and we don't want
Appeal to emotion.
this kind of approach that is just constantly trying to divide us. Let's remember, this is the same individual who took out a full-page ad in the New York Times
Technically,
calling for
this
the
is relevant.
execution
So I don't know
of
if I can call it
5
anything.
young Black and Latino boys who were innocent, the Central Park 5. And I think the American people want better than that.
Appeal to
Want better
emotion.
than this. We see
I'm not
in
good
each
at this,
other
I'm sorry.
a friend. We
Fuck.
see in each other a neighbor.
This is the most divisive presidency in the history of our country.
Too
They're
quo.
destroying our country.
Well, no,
And they
it's
come
not
up
too.
with
Well,
things
I mean,
like
it kind of.
what she just
It's not
said.
less about too cold and more about
And I
defense
said,
versus
well, if they
offense
pled
here.
guilty, they badly hurt a person,
What am I
killed a
talking
person
about, dude?
ultimately.
But he has
President
said
Trump, this is
multiple
now your
Yes.
third time running for president. You have long vowed to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. You have failed to accomplish that. You now say you're going to keep Obamacare, quote, unless we can do something much better. Last month, you said, quote, we're working on it. So tonight, 9 years after you first started running, do you have a plan, and can you tell us what it is?
Obamacare was lousy health care, always was. It's not very good today. And what I said, that if we come up
begging
with
the
something,
question.
and we are working on things, we're going to do it, and we're going to replace it. But remember this, I inherited Obamacare because Democrats wouldn't change it. I had a choice to make when I was president. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be, never going to be great, or do I let it rot?
Black and
I
white.
felt I had an obligation, even though politically it would have been good to just let it rot and let it go away. I decided,
do that
and
thing
I
I
told
thought he
my
would
people, the
do.
top people, and they're very good people.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan.
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now. But if we come up with something, I would only change it if we come up with something that's better and less expensive. Do that,
Special
and you'll
pleading?
be hearing about
No,
it
it's
in
not
the
special
not too distant
pleading.
future.
Vice President Harris, in
I need like a
2017,
list.
you
I need
supported
I don't have a
President
list on my
proposal
table
to
or
do away
anything.
with
Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. As it relates to the Affordable Care Act, understand, just
wait,
look at
wait,
the
wait,
history
wait.
to know where people stand.
Not
When
anecdotal.
Donald Trump was president,
But, like,
60 times he tried to get rid of the
appeal to
Affordable
something.
Care Act.
Appeal to
60
something. I don't
times.
know
I
what,
was
but
a
it's
senator
definitely an appeal.
at the time. Remember when an insurance company could deny if a child had asthma, if someone was a breast cancer survivor, if a grandparent had diabetes? And thankfully, as I've
is
been
that
vice
bishop
president,
again,
and
huh?
we over the last 4 years have strengthened the Affordable Care Act, we have allowed for the first time Medicare to negotiate drug prices
Never
on behalf of
mind.
you, the
That's
American
not
people.
good.
Donald Trump said should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it.
It's on
And
good time?
the plan
It's
has to be
not.
to strengthen the Affordable Care
All
Act,
the way
not
back there.
get
What the
rid of
fuck
it.
can you even do
Vice
about that?
President
Harris,
Prologue
thank
in terms
you.
of where Donald Trump stands on that.
I want to move to an issue that's important for a lot
Made a
of
mistake.
It's really
And
the best thing I
number
got.
one, John McCain
Jurassic
fought
Bishop.
Obamacare to do much better than Obamacare, much less money. But she won't improve private insurance for people,
Really?
private medical insurance. That's
I
another
moved the
thing she's
president.
doing. If
President
people
The fuck
pay
do you want?
privately for insurance, that
have another issue that we'd like to get to that's important for a number of Americans, in particular younger voters, and that's climate change. President Trump, with regard to the environment, you say that we have to have clean air and clean water. Vice President Harris, you call climate change an existential threat. The question to you both tonight is, what would you do to fight climate change? And Vice President Harris, we'll start with you. 1 minute
Fuck!
each.
Why not?
Well,
It's not looking good. It's really not looking good.
We have invested in clean energy to the point that we are opening up factories around the world. Donald Trump said that part of building a clean energy economy includes investing.
I'm not even doing. I can't do. It's so hard to juggle both, dude. I'm not even.
It includes.
Do I forfeit? I feel like no, I can't forfeit. I have to keep
massive
looking.
plants, and they think they're going to sell their cars into the. Why did she pay him $3.5 million?
Loaded
This is a
question.
crooked administration, and they're selling our country down the tubes.
President Trump, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with closing statements from both of our candidates. An historic night
Shit.
as ABC News
It's coming to a
presidential debate
close.
in Philadelphia. Back in a moment.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna forfeit. Fuck it.